Hey, I'm TMan, and if you didn't have a chance to catch part 1, check it out. There's a lot of hilarious lore, so I recommend taking a look and waltz on back over here. My friends still have over half of Wonder's enemies to explore before they get out of my gaming dungeon, and it gets quite insane. So make sure to crack open the potato chips, dig into some tiramisu, and enjoy the wild fun and laughs. And our next world is here, the Shining Falls. This mystical land is home to the Master Poplin, where he will train you to master the ways of the Poplin. In exchange for your training, you might be able to get a royal seed out of this place. In this land, we have this little guy right here. Isn't he cute? Ugh. Well, basically, he will jump whenever you do and try to copy your movements, so watch out for that.
Wow, what a loser.
Okay.
His name is Larry. Loser Larry.
Oh, okay, starting on strong here, aren't we?
Look at it. He looks like Luigi's hat got, like, punctured by a cactus. Like, what a loser, dude.
Dang, wow.
I don't even want to associate with this guy.
Wow, Topaz just woke up and chose violence today, I guess. Well, it's okay, Larry. You didn't do anything wrong. We don't blame you. And, you know, with how much of a loser Larry is, you know, where does he belong on our big old list here?
He is such a loser. I put it in bottom of C because, I mean, unlike the kind of, like, quote-unquote losers who are not actually losers, but they're just misunderstood. They're actually really nice people. He's just straight up just a nuisance. Just bottom of C.
Okay, well, that's kind of brutal, but, you know, I guess I can't argue with the facts. Okay, well, our next enemy here is kind of like a fish, but he can jump out of the water with the ability to arc and angle his jumps a bit.
Ooh.
I mean, I believe it. I think it looks exactly like a fish.
He looks like you know those, like, what are those called? It's like those, like, red, white, and blue, like, ice cream popsicles. He looks like that.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. That makes sense.
I was thinking it looked kind of like Phineas's head, but with fins.
Yeah, I can see that, but more like elevated form of Phineas, you know, being in the Shining Falls after all.
Yes.
Saint Phineas. The aquatic Phineas.
I don't know. Saint Phineas has like a nice little ring to it. That's pretty good.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Sounds pretty good to me.
Okay, well, you know, Saint Phineas is quite elevated, so how high does he belong on our list? You know, maybe A tier? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I could see that. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Is he as good as Acid, though?
No, absolutely not. I'd say bottom of B.
Really? Bottom of B?
Being honest.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling that, too.
Okay, then. Wow.
Self-esteem guy needs to be protected. We love self-esteem guy.
Wow, okay, so that's a below Fragile Francis, okay. And so now we move on to our next set of gentlemen. Yeah, so, yeah, these boys can either exist separately or coexist on the unified stack. You know, these kind of stack up on each other and become quite tall. And, you know, also, you can bop them on the head and toss them around and kill other enemies with their flailing body. It's kind of interesting, kind of weird, but what do you think of this?
He looks like... I'm really getting, like, Victor vibes from him.
When he stacks, where does his feet go?
You know, I never really considered that. You know, maybe it goes on top of the other guy?
You know how, like, Bart Simpson says, like, eat my shorts. He ate his shoes. Yeah.
he just ate his feet. Yeah, okay.
Eat my feet.
You know, I wonder how the digestive system works and, you know, how good it is when they're stacked like that.
Feels like human centipede now.
No.
The Victor centipede.
The Victor centipede.
Victor centipede.
Victorpede.
Victorpede.
Victorpede, yes.
No, that's absolutely awful. But you guys make the rules here, so you know where does Victorpede belong on this list here?
Okay, Victor, the way you described him, you were really stacking him up, no pun intended. He just seems like just the most reliable worker. Like, you could call on him for anything, and he'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna get the guys, and we're gonna get this done. And he has this attitude about him that he has this mindset of, like, I'm gonna get this done. Like, he's like a no funny business kind of guy. He's really respectable. He's a really good role model. Everybody loves him. I'd say A tier, below Acid, because drugs still win.
Oh yeah, of course. But you know, you make some real solid points there, so I guess Victor P will go below Acid.
Yeah, let's
okay.
go for it.
Well, yeah, these next guys are kind of odd. You know, they usually exist in clumps, usually in the sky or outer space levels. Yeah, so they're kind of weird, but you know, some stay still and some others move around in a pattern and try to knock you up and around if you touch them at all.
They what?
knock you up. D tier. I don't know what their name is, but they're definitely D tier now if they're knocking us up.
They look like bacteria. Are those bacteria? What are those?
Not quite bacteria, but they can hurt you, and bacteria can hurt you. So I mean, basically the same thing,
Sure.
Like bury the bacteria.
Bury the bacteria.
Knocks you up when you're least expecting it.
Oh Lord. Yeah, bury the bacteria.
All right, well, yeah, these guys clearly have some issues. So where do they belong? I'm guessing D tier.
If we're going with a theme, we got bacteria down there with the other questionable men. I'd say he fits right in.
Yeah, really right in. I'm guessing that they work with tumor and gum disease then.
Yeah, he's like the tumors. He's the tumors hype man. Tumor and tobacco chewing guy, like they're like inseparable. They're like two peas in a pod. They're like two gang members. But bacteria, but Barry over there, like he really wants to be he wants to be one of the guys, but he's kind of more like a hype man. But he really wants to be one of the guys, but he just doesn't really fit in, and it's really sad. They should make a movie about Barry.
I agree. Anybody has the right to give contagious diseases. Justice for Barry. But of course, that's, bad news for Vernon, but who cares?
Unfortunately.
Everyone needs to be away from Vernon.
Yeah, Carl is just on overtime right now. He's doing too much.
Carl is stopping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people at once. He is a powerhouse.
Well, from here we depart from the Shining Falls and move into the Sunbaked Desert,
Oh.
where the sun is hot and the water is scarce. Our first enemy here, he's a little basic, but he can curl up in a ball and try to get you.
Oh, that guy looks awesome, dude. He looks like just the sickest dude.
Really? He looks like a major nerd.
Well, nerds are cool, so you're the one speaking.
Well, what kind of stuff is he nerd out over?
He's focused on programming a website for his grandmother.
His grandmother? Well, that's that's sweet of him. Okay.
He looks like a Nelson. Nerdy Nelson.
I bet he uses his nerdy charm to get all the ladies, right? He's quite the player, if I do say so myself.
What? There was no tones of that.
He's a playa, all right. The only thing he plays is Call of Duty.
Yeah. Maybe so, but I think he seems like quite the down-to-earth kind of guy,
I'd say A tier. I'd put him above Block guy. Like, I can respect Nerdy Nelson. Like, he's really talented. He's really good at what he does, but he's a little bit of a weirdo.
Well, if you think Nelson is weird, this next guy is even weirder. He kind of just walks around, but if you grab that handle on the back of him, you can just unwind the wrappings right off of him, and he's even weirder.
Wow, he just looks like a scrawny little good-for-nothing, wow. Just wow. What a
I don't know,
pathetic...
he looks like a fancy chef to me.
What a pathetic little man. I'm sorry, I am being so mean.
Well, now that Topaz is done laying into our boy here, what is he like?
I mean, he is a little scrawny, but he does look like a chef, and he has like a bottle opener on his tail. So I mean, he's got some utility points.
But don't forget, if you grab the bottle opener and keep pulling, well, that's just the end of him.
He just dies. He's just gone.
Yeah, so he kind of sucks at being a chef overall.
Like Chef Boyar sucks.
Chef Boyar sucks. Yeah, Chef Lassuck.
Chef Lassuck.
Well, that's kind of a tough life, but where does he belong on our list here?
Chef Lassuck is a pathetic little man. He's insecure about the amount of talent and the amount of like grandma attention Nelson is getting, and he's just a little whiny boy about it. All he does is just go to twitter.com and go like wah, wah, wah. Well, he does nothing about it. And then when he does get attention and someone like grabs his tail, he doesn't know what to do, and he just like collapses. He sounds like a chronically online incel to me. I'm so sorry. I'd put him bottom a C.
Yeah, well, that sounds like he has quite a bit of work on here. So I guess,
Yeah.
I guess that's why he's staying with Loser Larry here, honestly.
Yeah.
But unlike the chef, we have a good boy coming up. You won't kill this guy by grabbing his tail. But when you grab his tail, you'll rev him up and he'll go rolling out.
He also has
He's
a bottle
definitely
opener.
somebody's pet.
He's like if you go to someone's house, like you go to like your family member that you just cannot stand being around. Like it's like Thanksgiving or something. You go over to their house and you just spend all the time with their dog because their dog is just the sweetest little thing. That's what this guy is.
He is such
How
a
could you
good
hate that
boy.
He's
guy?
such a good boy.
What happens when you pull it on his thing?
Yeah, so when you grab his tail, you see his body's like a wheel, right? Yeah, so when you grab it, he'll just start revving up and he'll start zooming out.
So he gets excited and plays with you?
Oh, that's the
such a good
sweetest little
boy.
thing. Oh, I'm not good at dog names. I just call him Dog. But what do you name this pupper?
I don't know. I'm thinking dog sounds pretty good to me.
Just sure.
Well, this is a very good boy, so he has to rank high.
Top of S. Top of S immediately.
He is such a good boy. Dude, look at that face.
Just immediate S. Just no question about it.
Yeah, he had to be an S. These next two enemies are a bit concerning and have a bit to deal with.
Whoa.
They are thick. They have not let out any of their flatulence their whole life. You can tell it is painful too.
They're polite. They're really polite, but they're really suffering from their politeness.
Yeah, so these guys will just fly through the air and you can jump on them and ride them, which will let out some of their air. So they definitely are a bit interesting, so to speak.
So you're kind of helping them out. Oh no, you're forcing them to have an uncomfortable situation in public. That's not very cool of Mario. He's not a cool guy for doing that. Brady and Brenda.
I think they're Brady and Brenda the Puffers.
Yeah, the Puffers.
Okay, Brady and Brenda the Puffers. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So we'll start with Brady. So where does he rank on our good old list here?
I think it's a really tragic story because they're trying to be like as polite as they can by like just like holding in their indecency in a public space, but they're like ultimately suffering for it. It's kind of sad. And then this dingle hopper Mario comes along and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna use you," and then he goes boink, and then they go and then it's just a whole mess. And like I get that they're trying to be polite, but they're still causing just this big old mess, and it's really inconvenient. But it's they're just so sweet. I'd say like above Phineas Fish.
Okay, Saint Phineas. So yeah, well, does Brenda rank any differently?
I don't know. I feel like they always got to stick together. They both decided that they want to let any flatulence or gases out. So I feel like it'd be rude to separate them now, right?
Yeah, definitely.
True power couple.
Yeah.
Wait, they're dating? I thought they were siblings.
I thought they were like married.
No, this is awkward.
Oh.
The things just got very complicated in the family tree of Brady and Brenda.
we don't focus on that.
Whoa.
But yeah, this next guy, he's pretty weird. They just like kind of roll around, hoping to land a jump on you, and not really that good.
He just looks unpleasant on all levels. Like I would not have a good time squishing him. He seems very unsatisfying.
Those black balls from The Incredibles? When they were being shot and they swelled up and covered him? That's what this is giving me vibes of.
Please don't name him Black Ball.
That's not the direction I was going, but Green Ball, but
sure, we can call him Green Ball.
What? Why is Green Ball better than Black Ball?
I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Green Ball is you have gangrene and you're going to die.
Oh no, that's rough. Okay, well, where does Green Ball belong?
He just I don't know. He just fills me with just this sense of ugh. Like I get it, dude. You're covered in balls. Just don't make it your entire personality. But I mean, he's a pretty cool person underneath. Like all you kind of have to dig around the green balls for a little bit until you get the real person on the inside.
Yeah.
Which really matters. He's pretty okay. He's got some cool interests. I'd say like bottom of B. Actually, wait, no, he's misunderstood. I would above flounder flat guy, above the fish.
Above Frank the cake, you can't forget him.
Yeah, Frank the cake.
Yeah, this next guy though, he's pretty chill. He usually has a pot on his head sometimes, but he moves around pretty peacefully.
Wow. It looks like his natural habitat is Denny's.
Denny's?
Where does that come from?
He looks like those old people who go to Village Inn every single day. Does he not?
They have nothing better to do.
He wants his Denny orders done right.
Yeah, exactly. And if like his stuff is done like a little imperfectly, he doesn't like throw a full on Karen fit, but he gets a little moody about it.
So
but that's just because like yeah,
Harry instead of Karen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, you said his name is Harry?
No, Harry.
Yeah, I'd say Harry.
How does he look Harry to you? He's the opposite of Harry.
I don't know. I was asking.
He suffers from male pattern baldness. He is not Harry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, don't make fun of him by calling him Harry.
Okay, I didn't mean to offend him. I'm sorry, Carrie.
Wow, what a jerk, T-Man. How dare you make fun of this guy?
8 out of 10 men have male pattern baldness.
We can make it 9 out of 10. I'm gonna shave your head tonight. I'm gonna come over to where you live and I'm gonna make your hair into a wig.
Okay, let's calm down. Where does he? No.
Yeah, and then we'll give it to Carrie, and then he'll be able to no longer be called Harry.
Yeah,
okay,
he'll be Harry.
It was an accident. I'm sorry. Where does Carrie belong?
I mean, he really knows what he wants in life. Like he goes over to Denny's or Village Inn or wherever. He knows he gets the same thing every time. He knows all the waitresses and waiters. He knows very well what he wants in this life. He has direction. I'd say below Penelope.
Yeah, definitely below.
Okay. And yeah, so this next guy is a bit scary. We have a Shadow Mario here.
It's me, I'm Mario!
Well, this Mario will just chase you around and try to copy all your moves and hunt for you.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Mario listened to too much My Chemical Romance. That's just Hot Topic Mario. No, Mario. That's Mario from Spencer's. He emerged from the horrors.
What? This is just Spencer's Mario?
Yeah, just
post Spencer Mario.
Post Spencer Mario.
So he has like PTSD, post-traumatic Spencer's disorder.
That is so real. As we all know, emo people are freaking awesome. So I'd say this is an improvement of normal Mario. But as we all know, normal Mario, he's not that great of a guy if you really think about it. I'd put post-traumatic Spencer disorder. I put him bottom of A.
Okay, yeah. So below the master is where we're putting this guy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then from here we depart the Sunbaked Desert and just delve into the Fungi Mines, where the poplins are trapped deep beneath the surface. You'll need to mine your way out of this shroomy situation. Our first enemy here hangs from the ceiling with its extra long tail hanging down.
That is...
What am I looking at?
That is straight up just Oscar the Grouch.
He came out of his trash can.
So yeah, you can grab onto his tail, spring up, and get some extra distance, but then our boy is just gone for good.
What?
Oh,
His
wow.
last act is to help somebody spring up.
That sounds like a skill issue. I don't know. I'm kind of sold on Oscar the Grouch, but...
More like Oscar the Grouch, you know? Because he grew.
I love that. Oscar the Grouch. He's a real grouchy guy. Like, he woke up this morning, like, his coffee was just not good. And, like, he went to Starbucks and they didn't have any more of his favorite breakfast items. So he's not having a good morning. I would put him like top a C.
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Yeah, I like that. And you know, so this next one's a bit unconventional. Kind of just speaks for itself, literally.
What?
I don't know what I'm looking at.
It's like giving me like Monsters Inc. vibes, you know, like during like the title scene where all the doors, you know, have like teeth.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty close to what it does. It just kind of opens up and just screams a lot.
Okay.
There we go. His name is
Scream a lot.
It's a scream a lot.
Scream a lot.
Well, he does get joy off of just scaring people. He's kind of like one of those like YouTube pranksters, but like I mean, he does it because, you know, he works for Monsters Inc. and he's, you know, just supplying power and he's really good at his job. So, you know, he's just doing his job, but he manages to find a little bit of joy out of it. I would put him like top of B in my professional opinion.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, and I am a
No,
professional.
I
Refer to
don't-
me as Dr. Topaz for the rest of forever.
I don't know if we can do that to Penelope though. Wouldn't it be doing her dirty?
What does Penelope do in life?
Yeah, Topaz is asking the real deep questions now.
I mean, I guess that's true, Doctor.
Thank you for saying my name correctly.
So yeah, this next boy just fell victim to Spencer's Mario.
Oh no.
No, it has PTSD too.
Mario took this Koopa Troopa to the back of Spencer's. He got traumatized, and look what happened to him. This guy's just Marilyn Manson, if I'm gonna be honest. Well, I wouldn't say he's as cool as Spencer Mario, but he is pretty up there. Actually, you know what? No, I'd say he is cooler than Mario because Marilyn Manson Koopa just crafted a style of his own, while Mario over there is just kind of like, oh, this is cool. I'm going to base my personality on this. You know what? No, I'd put him above Nelson.
Sometimes you just have to make those tough decisions,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I trust the in-house doctor.
Me too. Yeah, so this next guy, he just blob. He just kind of vibes around. He can climb on ceilings and he can go through slime.
I see a lot of creativity went into that guy. Well, he looks like acid, really. Is that the acid? That's the acid. The acid
The
is
The
the
acid. Oh, wow. So he has to go next to Ashton, right?
Yeah. Ashton on acid, and there is said acid.
So next enemy is a little disturbed, you know.
Mine.
Yeah, and that little yellow thing is a pacifier.
That is a pacifier. Okay, we got a big baby on our
that did
hands.
not eat something good. That is very bad discoloration. It is
The
about to
baby-
puke everywhere.
That baby got into the expired bologna again. We gotta put a lock on the fridge, dude.
Yeah.
Like, we can't keep letting
Yeah.
this happen.
Why would we get rid of the bologna if it's expired? Let's just lock it up instead.
course.
I don't know. It also kind of looks like expired bologna, to be honest.
You are what you eat.
So I say
Yeah, I
expired
mean-
bologna.
He was just trying to combat
Yeah.
food waste, but
Yeah.
he really unfortunate what happened to him, really.
Truly.
Well, he did make a really terrible life decision, which is going to haunt him forever. You know, only being like a newborn baby and all, but just shame on him. Just shame on him. But it is kind of sad, and I do kind of have a little bit of pity for him. So, I gotta put him like I gotta put him next to Green Balls.
Is he above Green Ball, though? Green Balls, I mean, is he better?
I'd say he's closer to the bottom.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, that is that. And we finally depart from the Fungi Mines. Grab an air conditioner because we're about to arrive in the deep Magma Bog. The enemies here are fiery and seeking a Mario-sized snack to munch on. And, you know, we can all relate to that, of course.
Tasty. That's a little bit too relatable. I need you to slow down.
Well, we're getting to late game. They probably ran out of imagination. So here's this absolutely creative guy right here.
He's just actually a rock with eyes.
That literally is
Basically.
Barack.
Well, I'm sure your name has to be more creative than this guy's essence.
Barack. Is it?
Barack?
Yeah. You heard me.
Barack Obama. No, Barack Olava.
Barack Olava.
Okay, wow, okay. I gotta say that's pretty creative, but how good is Barack?
Barack Olava is a simple creature, but he has one job and he does it well. He's the
That
kind
is-
of thing that you would make as a kid. You know, I mean, I'm sure all of us have made our rock buddies and we just stick some googly eyes on there. So I feel like it's only fair that even though expired bologna ate a lot of expired bologna, that he should still have a rock buddy.
Yeah, that's so wholesome. I love
Yeah.
that. He's his little pet rock.
Yeah, it's about time we had some wholesomeness in here. But the next enemy is pretty much the opposite, you know? He's literally just an angry piece of lava.
Oh,
What? That's a fish too.
That looks like some really spicy sushi. I'll call him Krakatoa.
Krakatoa.
And what's the inspiration for that one?
He looks like a volcano. So, and he is lava, so I call him Krakatoa the boa. Wait, a boa is a snake. Never mind.
I'm failing to see the link between any of this. Are you sure you didn't accidentally take some of the acid?
Yeah.
I cannot confirm nor deny these accusations.
Getting back on board here. Is this what we're actually going with?
I don't know. I mean, Krakatoa the boa, that's bold. And maybe that's exactly what he needs, because he's always judged by the way he's looked. People always think he's just spicy sushi, but actually he is Krakatoa the boa.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I can get on board with that logic. So how do we feel about Mr. Boa?
I'd say he's pretty good.
He sucks.
He sucks. How does he suck?
Trash.
Oh.
Do you know what his name is? Krakatoa the boa? What kind of name did he choose for himself?
Wow, I feel attacked here.
Well, people are more than just their name, so how do we feel about him on the inside?
Well, he's misunderstood, but he's not really understood either. He's just kind of still in the deeply traumatizing misunderstood category, so he's still kind of shunned.
I was also kind of thinking, we got a lot going on in D, and does Carl really have time to keep people apart that much? I think Krakatoa's job would be well suited at keeping people apart, because no one's going to want to touch him. I mean, they'll just end up getting burned probably. So maybe Carl needs some help from Krakatoa.
That's his villain arc. He was deeply misunderstood, and he was like, hey, I don't like this world. And then Carl came up and he was like, hey, you're really good at something. Even though you think you're not good at anything, I know you're good deep down. And he hired him to do this really just righteous job with him, and he's just really doing a bang up job with it. I'm really proud of Krakatoa the boa here. He's really moving up in this world.
That's just another wholesome ending, and I'm here for it. And as typical is with the lava world, we have some more heated enemies. This next one, they start off as normal old rocks, but end up heating up and get into a hot mess. And they'll just get a little full of themselves and try to roast you.
That sounds like toxic masculinity.
That's what I've always said. So are we just calling these guys toxic masculinity?
Yeah, that's what I'd say. Well, me and the boys don't like toxic masculinity. But if we're thinking about D tier, there is no place for toxic masculinity in that kind of vibe that's going for D. I would say, actually, no. Toxic masculinity goes above the red-faced bird there. Because the red-faced bird, absolutely horrible person. And he struggles with some toxic masculinity, too.
Okay. So yeah, this is kind of like the great equalizer, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so this next one is a bit nicer, and they come in two forms. So there's going to be an unpopped and a popped version. It's as simple as it sounds. Once the unpopped version hits something heated, like toxic masculinity, it'll pop up into its new form and start bouncing around.
It's a corn kernel, and it turns into popcorn.
That's just Orville Redenbacher.
Orville Poppenbacher.
Yeah, Orville Poppenbacher.
So where does the corn kernel go on here?
He is untapped potential right now. Which, there's nothing sadder in this world than untapped... Wait.
Untapped, you say?
Well, he is a nut.
In what case is a corn kernel a nut?
We need to explain more.
Put him in D tier.
I mean, yeah, he could hit it off with Nut Columbo. They could have a good old time in there. So
Yeah, they look like
I guess that's true.
Yeah, so what about like the post-popped popcorn version?
Oh, post-popped, really just awesome. Just the most amazing guy. Like, just the character development. He turned from this just kind of cold, just kind of meh, whatever kind of dude. And then something bad happened in his life, and then he just turned into this really just awesome, outgoing guy. Really tasty too if you put some salt on him. But yeah, he's really cool. I'd put him in S tier. Below the owl guy.
Oh, yeah, Tony Bach. Yeah, so right below Tony Bach. That makes sense. This next guy, he's literally just lava. Take what you want with that, and that's it.
Yeah, that is quite basic. It's just like a little ploop of lava with eyes.
That's just a blob of slag.
I don't know, it's globby.
I can vibe with globby.
Okay, sure, this is globby, but does he even belong? Like, how good is he?
Does he even belong? Wow, and you have the worst people on this list does he belong?
Okay, I was just wondering, given how much effort Nintendo put in
I
here.
think he
Oh,
has
sure,
to be in
bud.
C tier because he's obviously very misunderstood.
Yeah, deeply misunderstood. I'd put him like top of C.
I mean, he is
He's
the
just-
most misunderstood, considering he doesn't belong top.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
All right, I see I made a mistake here. That's a good place for Globby, all right?
Yeah.
Moving on, once again, another fire enemy is upon us, and he's honestly pretty standard as well.
Oh, but he's got a cool hairdo and teeth. I mean, he is
Yeah.
looking fly.
He is looking fly. The only thing he needs is like a cool pair of shades. He looks like an Aiden.
Yeah.
Interesting choice.
Yeah. Well, he grew up. He kind of wasn't really anything. He was like, hey, I want to make a name for myself. He slicked his hair back. He visited the dentist, which I'm also a licensed dentist.
Oh, are you?
If you come into my office in the back alley, you remember where it is with the neon sign. I'm a licensed doctor and a dentist. $0 for your first visit. Anyway, he came to my office and I was like, hey, I can fix you up real good, dude. And we gave him some really nice teeth, and he's just working up the money to go to get him a fresh pair of Oakleys. So he's really carving out a name for himself. Everybody thinks he's just the coolest dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'd put him in S tier with the other cool guys.
With the bros? Wow.
Yeah, he's one of the bros. He's better than Tony Bach.
Okay, well then. Well, we're finally in the deep Magma Bog, but we have bad news. We have finally reached the Bowser Castle. Ever since Bowser absorbed the Wonder Flower, he has been terrorizing the Petal Isles and all of its inhabitants. He has some tricks up his sleeve with some wacky enemies ahead, so watch out. The first one we counter is the biggest weaponry yet, and get a load of this guy right here.
Torpedo Till.
That's a banger name.
Actually, I'm not liking Torpedo Till very much. Looks more like a rocket. Rocket Robert.
Rocket Robber is extremely solid as well. Yeah, that's pretty good.
He did live in the artillery store, and Bowser was like, "Hey, I need something bigger for Mario, because he's just not. He's surviving all my Bullet Williams." And he was like, "Hey, I got this guy," and he pulled out Rocket Robert. And Rocket Robert, I mean, he's just kind of doing his job. I mean, he doesn't really, he's not really on a side, but he's just doing it for the money, just to feed his wife and kids. But I can respect it. I can respect the hustle.
He's looking out for his kids. That's like pretty noble, if I do say so myself.
And he does look pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, what if we put Maurice in S tier above Popcorn, and then we put Rocket Robert above Trampoline? Actually, no, below Trampoline.
Okay, I mean, yeah, after all that Maurice has done, he deserves this. He deserves to be an S tier.
He
deserves that.
Yeah, and so Bowser sure loves his rockets, because we got another small little guy right here. This guy sticks to walls and can launch at you from different angles, so don't be in a sight, otherwise you're gonna be getting hit pretty easily.
That's
just a straight up red rocket.
Yeah, that's just a red rocket. Yeah.
That's awful. And that was quick, but where does he belong?
He's just he's really having a tantrum right now. He has direction. He knows what his goal is, but he's just blinded by rage.
Okay, I can see that.
That's really gonna be his downfall, is just his unbridled rage. So, I can't really put him anywhere higher than bottom of B.
I was thinking he kind of deserved to be in D. I don't know. He's kind of fitting the vibe of the rest of the pieces in there. I feel like Humor and him would be friends.
He does look.
He's a little pent up.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, I would
with anger.
Yeah, with anger. I'd put him next to Tumor.
I mean, yeah, what is a tumor and gum disease without a red rocket, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
Now, we all know that Bowser likes his weapons with his Bullet William, his Rocket Robber, and Red Rocket, but now we have the worst of all of them right here. This next one is essentially just a worse extended version of a Bullet Bill, and just get a load of this guy. I mean, come on, he's terrible.
Now, what does that solve for Bowser? Other than does that explode multiple times, or is that just a snake because he felt like making a snake?
I'd absolutely love to say Bowser's out the suit, but no, this is just a snake. If you land anywhere on him, he just dies, and it's just sad to see.
Wow.
Yeah, how far Bowser has fallen.
Yeah, Bowser's not exactly the smartest person. I mean, how many times has he lost Peach to Mario?
He's kind of a loser. He keeps getting ratioed by the entire universe, really. That's honestly just a snake. It's just a snake.
Oh, a snake? Oh, that's his name? There's not more?
Just a snake.
Oh, okay. All right then. Okay.
I'm not really seeing much personality with the snake, honestly. But that's kind of like most snakes. They just kind of exist there. I mean, they're cool. They're really nice, but they just kind of exist. And that's, I don't know. I can vibe with them. I can vibe with the snake.
But like, he's still worse than Spencer's Mario.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you know, like, so like bottom of A?
I'd say bottom of A.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at least Spencer Mario has, you know, personality.
Yeah, of course. And, you know, in preparation for Bowser's big performance, he made a new enemy, you know, so yeah, he brought along this guy.
What the heck?
Yeah, so we must be careful of this tricky little guy
He's
right here.
tripping right now. It's his drug hallucinations.
The acid is going way too much to his head.
He's just having a bad trip right now. Well, I mean, if Bowser was tripping, he would... well, those eighth notes are on fire. And if you're on fire, you go faster. And Bowser's tripping, so he's not in a straight mind. Those are 30-second notes.
Oh, right,
okay.
yeah, of course.
It's like his grand plan.
Yeah, okay.
It's like the culmination of his acid trip.
Literally, I mean,
Yeah.
The visualization.
yeah, obviously.
Yeah, he's having a bad trip, and this is like the... just the big bad of his trip.
The big
He
bad
took
trip.
all the drugs, too many drugs, and this is what happened. Don't do drugs because you will see this.
I'm thinking we're not quite sure, so what if, now hear me out, what if we leave it up to the comments to decide this one?
Okay, I mean, yeah, that's a great idea. I'm sure their names would be better than ours.
That would be pretty swag.
Yeah, so, you know, as the culmination of Bowser's big trip, where does he go?
Bowser's bad trip is the ultimate drug. It just is the ultimate drug.
Way more than the acid. I mean, it is the culmination of acid.
But we gotta think. Are we better than drugs? Are the guys
No.
in S tier, are we better than drugs? The answer is no. Top of S. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, culmination of an acid trip. Who needs puppies when you have acid?
Yeah, I mean, you know.
That's the moral of the story. That's what we can take away from this. We're not better than drugs. Stop trying. This is depressing. Don't listen to me.
But, you know, yeah, we have so much more to live for than just Bowser's big trip, of course.
Absolutely. We have so much more to look forward to, like popcorn and dogs and acid.
Of course.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm not looking forward to the tumor.
Vernon isn't.
Vernon
None
is
of
not
us are
looking forward to anything.
Definitely not.
Well, as we depart from the Flower Kingdom, do the two of you have any parting words for everybody?
I think I'll go first because PP the Best is the real MVP here. I think we have a story much better than Nintendo could ever write, much better than they have ever written, and we have just a beautiful cast of characters. We have so many wonderful stories going on that just bring this world alive, and I want to see a movie or like a 15 installment game series about just these guys. I would love that. I would pay top dollar for that. Back to you in the studio, PP the Best.
I can't get over the fact of how beautiful this lineup is. Not only with all of the names with Nut Columbo, Red Rockets, the Tumor, I mean, everything, there's just perfect balance. It's like a beautiful painting. Everything is exactly where it should be, and it makes me swell with joy that we were able to create such a masterpiece, and I could not ask for anyone better than Dr. Topaz to join me in this adventure.
Oh, thank you. As with the universe being a beautiful creation, everything right where it needs to be for a beautiful picture, as this universe of just truly unfortunate characters, if I'm gonna be honest, especially D tier.
Hey now, and I think in its own way, D tier is actually a beautiful cast of characters that we've ever seen. And, you know, with Carl pulling out so much for everyone and being such a team player.
Carl's what so
No,
much?
Carl's
I didn't
pulling
mean it like
out. I
that.
thought he was one of the good ones.
No, okay, I didn't want you to find out this way.
Carl, the real bad guy.
Oh.
Whoa!
He couldn't last.
That's
He
a
tried
plot
so
twist no one
hard.
expected. That is truly unfortunate.
Well, as with all things, they come to an end. From the absolute chaos given to us by Topaz and PP the Best, to the total betrayal by Carl, we have truly seen a story arc of a lifetime. Thank you once again to my fabulous guests. You are now free from my gaming dungeon, roam free. And thanks to all of you for joining me on this wild journey. Truly, I appreciate you for being here and I hope you have such a wonderful day. If you enjoyed, give that like and subscribe button a nice pat on the head. And with that, TMan out.